Hey there! Oh yeah, I'm about to make a lot of videos in succession. This is an end to suffering part 8, and I actually might very well just do 8 through 15 right now. And it was something that was dying to get out there. And I just need to, you gotta sing your song, guys. Gotta get it out. And these days I look at, every time I think of something, I'm like, all right, what do I want to do with the next 10 years? And I'm like, aha, I know. I'll do publishing of quality role-playing supplements. And then I'm like, I get online and I'm like, oh yeah, everybody's done that way better than I ever could have thought to do it. So here I am, just talking about myself and my life experience. It was, I think, late 2012 that I was up in the morning really early, and I was making myself some oatmeal, cream of wheat, and I was just miserable. I was already worked up, and I get it. If you wake up in the morning and you look around and you're like, oh God, no, not this again, and like all those worries and concerns and those self-fabrications and the scenarios just start coming into your head of the bad things that can happen and bona fide things to actually worry about. And when you go to sleep at night, it's like a relief. At last, this consciousness is going to end for a little bit. I hear you. And that morning, that particular morning, I was just so worried. But as I was making my cereal, the thought occurred to me, Sean, the banks aren't even open till 9 a.m. It's 4:30 a.m. and you can't sleep because you're so worried. But no one's awake. Anybody that could possibly be involved with anything concerning you, there's just nothing to do. So why don't you just enjoy your breakfast? And I was like, oh, I get it. And some of those old Zen stories, because by the way, I'm a huge fan of Zen stories. There's a great website called 101 Zen Stories. I've actually memorized a lot of them. And it really started to make sense that there's a Zen saying, before enlightenment, I chopped wood and carried water. After enlightenment, I chopped wood and carried water. And who knows what it means? To me, it means that you can do the same tasks, but you can either do them feeling happy and not really worrying about things that you can't even change. And get some peace. Get some peace. And that's the whole point of all those distraction meditation exercises. You could do anything, and as long as it distracted you from the suffering for a little bit, you could get just a tiny little bit of relief. And I hope someone out there can get a little bit of relief from my story and the things that I did. Because for me, I can't just sit cross-legged and be like, okay, clear your mind, breathe in, breathe out. And because in fact, when I'm quiet, you know what I hear? I hear the ringing in my ears, and it's loud. And in fact, that's when I started noticing it, that I was like, okay, I'm going to quiet everything. And it's like, oh, there's a sound. So this has all been my quest for inner peace. I call it enlightenment sometimes, but it's really just relief. And I think that's the first stage of like moving up there to where I want to be, which is feeling good all the time. Joy, empowerment, love, freedom. To have that sensation. And my theory is that as I change myself inside, my outer circumstances are going to change as well. And I'm going to talk more about that right now, which is since 2012 to 2020, 8 years, my external circumstances have changed. And on the one hand, it felt like my external circumstances were changing Like it felt like my world was crumbling, like it was dissolving. And sometimes that was painful. I was like, oh no, the people that I knew, the circumstance, the places, but actually everything reformed into something different, something amazing. Now I feel peace most of the time. My circumstances are very placid, and it's really nice. And frankly, I don't feel like I'm in a position to tell anybody how to run their life, but I am in a position to share my experience and get it out there too. Like YouTube, it's on the cloud now. I am almost certain there are entities that are combing the internet and basically storing everything. And so a lot of this is forever. All right, well, that's all I got. That is number 8. Be sure that you're saying your thank yous, trying some of those other exercises, the acid trip, the barefoot meditation. In the next video, I'm going to talk about splicing. And let me tell you, you're not going to like it. Or maybe you'll love it.